Well, I guess the story that I reported on about 2 weeks ago is actually gaining steam. If you remember, on July 3rd, I reported that Ricky Martin was hit with a restraining order, and that in that story, there was this tiny mention of an allegation about him committing incest against his nephew, but it was debunked. I gave my opinion, and the story pretty much calmed down. Well, now it's hit the fan, and Ricky Martin can face up to 50 years in Puerto Rico prison if he's convicted. We got to talk about this because this is big. And I think this can be another accusation like how they did Michael Jackson. Good evening. It's your girl, Miss Ann Little Cole. I'm coming to you straight out of NYC on this calm, quiet, and cool Friday night. So I'm going to read to you from the New York Post entertainment section about this case. And it reads, Ricky Martin accused of incest crime could face 50 years in prison. I'm just letting this upload. Ricky Martin could be facing 50 years in prison following bombshell domestic violence allegations reportedly filed by his 21-year-old nephew. It was revealed 2 weeks ago that a judge in Puerto Rico had issued a domestic violence-related restraining order against the Latin pop icon. The alleged victim's name was not previously disclosed. However, according to Spanish publication Marca, Martin's brother, Eric Martin, claimed that the victim is 21-year-old Dennis Jadiel Sanchez, the singer's nephew. Under Puerto Rico's law for incest charges, the sentence Martin, 50, could face is 5 decades in prison if the shocking claims are true. The publication reported the complaint was made anonymous under Law 54, known as the Domestic Abuse Prevention and Intervention Act. El Vocero, a Puerto Rico newspaper, reported that the order states Martin and the person who filed the complaint dated 7 months. The alleged victim claimed that Martin didn't take their breakup well and has loitered near the petitioner's home at least 3 times, according to the report. Earlier this month, Martin was slapped with a $3 million lawsuit from his ex-manager, Rebecca Drucker, for unpaid commissions. The legal documents allude to her protecting, in quotations, the Livin' La Vida Loca singer from a potentially career-ending allegation. A representative for Martin told the Post at the time the allegations against Ricky Martin that led to a protection order are completely false and fabricated. We are very confident that when the true facts come out in this matter, our client Ricky Martin will be fully vindicated. When reached by the Post on Friday, Martin's attorney, Marty Singer, said, unfortunately, the person who made this claim is struggling with deep mental health challenges. Ricky Martin has, of course, never been or would never be involved in any kind of sexual or romantic relationship with his nephew. The singer also said, the idea is not only untrue, it is disgusting. We all hope that this man gets the help he so urgently needs, but most of all, we look forward to this awful case being dismissed as soon as the judge gets to look at the facts. The Post has also reached out to his competitive bodybuilder brother Eric for comment about the controversy. Meanwhile, the petitioner fears for his safety. El Vocero quoted the protection order as saying, the order reportedly bars the Livin' La Vida Loca singer from contacting or calling the person who filed it. Martin, who released a 6-song EP titled Play on Wednesday, denied the allegations in a post on Twitter. On July 3rd, writing, the protection order entered against me is based on completely false allegations. So I will respond through the judicial process with the facts and the dignity that characterizes me. Because it is an ongoing legal matter, I cannot make detailed statements at this time. I am grateful for the countless messages of solidarity, and I receive them with all my heart. The legal proceedings are set to begin on July 21st. Martin and his husband, Spanish-born artist Juan Yosef, have been married since 2017. Now, here's the thing. When I reported it, I pretty much was reading about this on Lipstick Alley. This is how I first heard the story. I heard about him basically having an obsessive relationship with a man and that he dated this man for 7 months. But the Post wrote it, not the Post, the New York Post, but the person who posted the Instagram post typed it in Spanish. And there were 3 people on Lipstick Alley who spoke Spanish fluently and translated and said, this is not good. This is about a nephew, incest, a relationship, sexual abuse, and harassment. This is scandalous. Bad. So I did research on it, and ABC posted it and said, it's not about a nephew. So it was debunked that day, that Sunday. It was debunked. So if you remember what I had read, I read about the manager named Rebecca Drucker, who was suing him the week before the story first hit about the restraining order and the obsessive person that he basically was obsessing over, and that it was rumored to be his nephew. In that article that I read about Rebecca Drucker, she has said that I was protecting him from a potentially career-ending allegation. Nothing is more detrimental than being accused of sexual abuse, the M, you know what the M is because I can't say it, and incest. And the worst thing is to be accused of committing incest in a same-sex way. Now, I'm going to say what I believe, like I said before. There's 2 things. One, this could be potential blackmail. And it could be blackmail because the nephew and the father, who is the brother, may want something from Ricky. And that's because Ricky is a big star. He's like the biggest breakout star that Puerto Rico has ever had. And because he comes from the island. So I'm talking about as the island itself. And it could be an extortion thing. It could be, we want money from Uncle Ricky, Brother Ricky, and you haven't helped us, and you cutting us off, and if you don't give us what we want, I'm going to make your life miserable kind of thing. Also, it could be something even deeper. There in this country, being that Puerto Rico is a commonwealth of the United States, there is a movement going on to basically destroy gay marriage. And I spoke about this a couple of days ago. And I said, for all of you all who are married in a same-sex reunion or plan to, because that's the rights that they gave y'all, they are actually planning to remove it. And they are the paleo-conservatives. This will be the biggest scandal to hit gay America. And if this turns out to be, let's say, true, it's over. Y'all can kiss gay marriage goodbye. These people are looking for a validation to end this. And he may be the poster child for it. Now, let's say this is false. Then we got a slander case going on, and it seems to me that this will also be a Michael Jackson situation, that they doing a Michael Jackson on him, where they basically are, trying to ruin his career. Maybe he wants his masters. Remember, what does Ricky Martin have in common with Michael Jackson? They were both signed to Sony. And they were signed to Sony at the same time. Okay? So we don't know what's going on behind the scenes when it comes to business. And Ricky Martin is also itching for a comeback. Okay? And Ricky Martin is 50 years old. Who was 50 years old when he was itching for making a comeback and going on tour? Michael Jackson. So it could be this thing where we're lining you up because we don't want you to come back. You had your moments, you had your time. Now let these other kids go. And they know that with the type of music Ricky Martin made, his music is more organic. So if you go back to that sound that he had in the 90s, nobody's going to buy this trash music that's out. Nobody's going to buy it. Like the Bad Bunnies, the J Balvins, they're not going to listen to that. He will wash them. Okay? Even though they're all cool, but let's be real. They don't want him to come back because they will see him as a threat. Now, also, I'm going to say this. I was just on Star's channel, and I heard that Ricky Martin and a couple of other people were protesting to try to oust the governor of Puerto Rico a couple of years ago. It could be payback for that too. They could be lining him up for all those things. Like, oh, so now you're trying to come back? Well, we didn't forget what you did to us back in such year. But you were trying to oust the government. We paying you back for that. Okay? So it could be all those different things. But this is my thing with the nephew. The problem I'm having is this consensual relationship. You didn't want it anymore. And now you're going around saying that you were abused. You can't be saying that you're in this incestual relationship and you were a grown man and that this relationship went on for 7 months. Why are you in if this is so, why are you in a relationship with your uncle? You could have got any other man if this is the case. Another thing too is that what kind of abuse was it? Was he abusing you while this was going on? Or are you saying you was in a sexually abusive relationship as in I'm being forced to be in this sexual relationship with my uncle? Because the only way this could have been forced is if your father sold you to your uncle. If your father sold you to your uncle as a kid, then it makes sense. But 7 months, you're 21. This could have started as early as 20 years old. You didn't have to do this. Did he threaten to kill you? Like, what was really going on? Now, let's say it started out consensual between the two of them. And let's say the nephew decided, I don't want to do this no more. And then Ricky won't let go and won't stop. Then it does make sense about the obsession, the restraining order. Leave me alone. Then that's the only thing that makes sense. The only thing that makes sense is that this started out consensual and that the nephew wanted to stop. It would be the only thing if this happened. But I'm more inclined to believe, like I said before, that I don't believe this is true. I believe that they're setting Ricky up. And I believe that the manager, Rebecca Drucker, is involved and that she paid the nephew to say this so that she could get back at Ricky because he fired her a second time because she wasn't managing his career properly. And also, too, look at the timeline between this story, in this case, breaking, and Menudo Siempre Joven premiering on HBO Max, which was the 4-part series that's still there. You can stream it, about the abuse that the menudo members endured by Edgardo Diaz. Okay? When you tie this, what they're doing is they're trying to take the heat off of Edgardo Diaz because of connection between he and Jose Menendez. Okay? That's what's going on. Because they don't want the Menendez brothers to be released because everybody wants them released. Because the real gag is that the father was abusing them. And the real tea, and I don't want to say tea like as in, like, ooh, gossip style, but the real, dirt is that Menendez, back in 1984, had did something to Ricky Martin and another menudo member. And that basically caused Ricky to really go into like a state of shock. But what Ricky did was when younger members were coming through, he always protected them. And there was a young kid, his name was Victor. And Victor was coming through into menudo. He was 11 years old and Ricky was leaving. And the couple of weeks while Ricky was there, Ricky was protecting Victor. And once Ricky left, because he got aged out because he turned 16. No, he was turning 17, I believe, because I think they let him stay for an extra year. Ricky, the boy Victor, was no longer protected. And they abused him so horribly that if you watch part 3, you could see the tears running down Victor's face. You could see it. And Ricky moved on, and a decade later, he basically, and this is tea. He was working on his debut album, like the English language one, and he basically said that he wanted to perform on American television, and they first didn't want it, and Ricky said, "You better give it to me. You don't give it to me, you know what I will do." And what I will do would be meaning I'll go public. If you don't make me a star, because that would be a star to find a moment. If you don't make me a star, I'm going to tell the world everything y'all did to me. So they gave him that spot. And a month later, he had a hit song. And a month after that, he had a number one song in the country, Live La Vida Loca. So it's certain people feel that Ricky got big because they had to do it as retribution for what they did to him when he was a child. And I believe that. But I do believe he's talented. I like some of his songs. I'm not like a fan, but I like some of his songs. And he was good in Evita. He was good in Evita on Broadway. But I do believe that they made him big. Because if you remember, the guy who was big was Mark Anthony. Mark Anthony was big. And then Ricky Martin came. And he took the spot. And then Enrique Iglesias came and took the spot. I remember that whole Latin explosion back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I remember it. And I liked the music, but it was just a little bit kind of overbearing when some of your people basically want to try to act like they Spanish, and then you a quarter Cuban and you ain't even trying to act like it. And you looking at these phony beats like, bitch, your grandparents come from Beaufort, South Carolina. Why you putting on that fake ass Puerto Rican accent? And I ain't got near none Spanish accent, but can pronounce words in Spanish, but I ain't really even trying to be like that. So I just couldn't deal with that. By 2000, I was like, I can't take this no more. I can't take these black people trying to be Spanish. It's just too much for me. I can't deal with it. So that's what happened. And if you remember that, you was there, it is what it is. So he got to get a damn good legal team. This is going to be the Michael Jackson combination O.J. Simpson case out in Puerto Rico. Okay? This is going to be a big legal case. It might not go to trial, but it's going to be big. And I am keeping my eyes and ears open to this. All right? The legal eagle in me is going to be reporting this. And with that being said, it's your girl, Miss Analytical. I'm signing off. Thank you for listening and tuning in. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. We're on our way to 3K. Also, hit the notification bell to receive notices on uploads and lives. Also, like, also share and comment. And I will be back soon. Take care.